Loony Spoonie here, and this is the channel that you found for raw, real, positive, and dark Spoonie related things. I'm coming to you today in my bun. This is the bun that I live in. If you think it's fancy, it's not. It is one rubber band and one bobby pin. I throw it up at the beginning of the day. It usually takes me 3 different times that I have to put my arms down. 3 different times that I have to take a break. That my neck and my back are like, But as I've gotten worse having hair in my face, I can't deal with it. It's got to be out of my way. If I want to spend my time doing something, I also don't want to have to spend my time doing this. That's just me. And I'm in my comfy shirt. This is the shirt that I wear. I'm in a sports bra, and this is how I roll because I put together that video. I tried to learn everything that I could about YouTube and how I can make the video the best for you and how I can get it out there so that you can see it, and I just ran myself into the ground. So today I'm just in that raw nerve place. And I didn't turn the camera on crying. I kind of want to do like a confessional thing where I want to talk about how I felt going through a certain phase of my illness. The thing that I want to talk to you about today is using walking devices. And once again, if you didn't watch my last video, and I will link it below, this community that I want to build is not one where we shame anybody for where they are in the progression of their illness, where they started, where they are now, where they're going to be. Their pain is their pain. What they're going through is what they're going through. We're trying to make connections to people who can say, I know how you feel. I know where you were. When I was at that point, this is how I felt. So when I talk about using walking assisted devices like canes and wheelchairs, I fully understand that there are people that are in there from the time they are born. I understand that. I just want it to be put out there that I'm going to get real about how I felt, but I'm not ignorant to the fact that there are people who have it worse. Like I said in my last video, somebody's always going to have it better, somebody's always going to have it worse, but it doesn't invalidate what you're going through. It's starting already. If you are blessed enough to find doctors who are truly committed to finding you a quality of life, if there's no stopping it, which is where it is in my case, when you find that doctor, you want to be strong for them. It's just like a part of your family. You don't ever want to tell them where you are. You don't want to tell them how bad it is, and they don't know why you feel that way. It's your doctor. It's his job. Hers. It's their job to help you. But just like anything else, you feel like you need to be strong. I can handle it. And I feel like sometimes you think they're going to know how bad I am. And they do, but they don't. I mean, they have a very broad picture of what's going on in your body, but they don't know the micro things if you don't tell them. And you just want to be tough. And then you have the Spoonie scale, which is the Spoonie pain scale. And when they ask you, what's your pain level? What's your pain level? And you're thinking, 475? What's the face? Where's the face on this chart for 475? Show me the face. And I'll tell you. But you go, maybe a 5. Maybe a 6. You're not a 5 or a 6. We know you're not a 5 or a 6. But you say it because you don't want to. We're walking this fine line too. This fine line of finding doctors who want to help us and also not asking so much that they think we're trying to get certain things, and that's not the case. We are looking for people to help us. When I went and saw my neurologist for the first time, he turned on a faucet in his office when I very first came in, and it was just going drip, 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 and through a whole, I want to say, 40-minute consultation, he let it drip. And when we were done and he listened to me, and I let him in as much as I was willing to let a doctor in at that point, because I hadn't found a doctor that I felt really wanted to help me and really believed me. I don't know, when you're in your 20s and your early 30s, it's hard to find a doctor to connect with, and I'm sure it has a lot to do, and once again sweeping with a wide brush, but I'm sure it has to do with they deal with a lot of older patients, they deal with a natural deterioration, but we want to be strong. And as this faucet is dripping, we get to the end of the appointment, and my doctor looked at me and he said, "That faucet dripping over there, it's kind of annoying when I turned it on, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "And it got just a little bit more annoying when we were talking." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "After a week, it's torture." And I just started to bawl. Because for the first time, I felt like a doctor understood my pain. And when somebody wants to do that for you, it makes it very, you want to make them proud. I know it's a silly notion, and it might only be me. Let me know if it's just me, but you want to make them proud, you want to get better, you're going to drink that gallon of water a day, even though it hurts to go back and forth to the bathroom, which you'll have to do 1,000,000 times because you drank the gallon of water a day. But it just becomes a delicate balance of letting enough of yourself out, enough of your darkness and your pain out to your doctor for him to know what you're going through, and understanding, because I still struggle with it. When you have all the MRIs and you have the x-rays and you have all of the tests that show exactly how bad you are, they're gonna know. A lot of people aren't blessed enough to find them. And I know this went on a tangent about doctors, but it leads into wanting to make them proud. And I went a long time not using a cane because I was so prideful. So prideful. I'm like, if I use a cane, I am officially disabled. And I am not saying that's what officially disabled is. That is not the barometer. That is not the scale. In my head, my twisted thinking. In my mind, if I used a cane, I was officially disabled. And I wouldn't use the scooter. And the scooter is a hard one for me. The scooter is a hard one. And my husband would say, just use the scooter. The thing is that, I mean, you have a camera, you can see in this, it took a lot of self-love to get into that scooter, because there's a lot of stigma attached to it. You know, if you're somebody who's not thin or fit, if you're somebody who's bigger on a scooter, you get looks, and you have to be confident enough to know that you need it. And without that scooter, you're not going to be able to walk and roll side by side with the person that you love. You're going to miss out on experiences. Don't wait as long as I did. And if you did, I feel you. Because now we're moving into wheelchair. And that's an even harder one. Because you already feel like a burden. And I'm going on so many different things that I could do millions of videos about, feeling like a burden. Doctors. But when you're already feeling like a burden and somebody now has to push you around And I know that you could say, push yourself around. I can't. I physically can't. I know my arms move very well. I know that I can move a little bit. But I am giving you all that I've got. So to want to go do things like my husband and I went to Kennedy Space Center for our anniversary, and for an entire day he pushed me around in that wheelchair. And I loved the experience. I loved it. But there's just that little bit of me that felt like he would have enjoyed it more if he wasn't pushing me around, if I wasn't a burden on him, if he could walk wherever he wanted to walk, when he wanted to walk there. And it's easy. And one of the hardest parts is, if I talk to him about it, and I tell him, this is how I feel. When you start getting into that, I feel like a burden talk, I get back, would you do it for me? And it's the ultimate question, and it's a rational question. Because absolutely I would do it for him. I would do anything and everything for him. But it doesn't work that way. That connect is not there. No matter what you know you would be willing to do for that other person, it doesn't take away the fact that you still feel like a part of them knows that you're holding back their life a little bit. And that's the darkness. And it's struggling so much with finding the self-worth to know that the contributions you make, no matter what, are just that much more worthwhile. And I am not telling you to do it alone. As in, I figured out the secret. Because I struggle with it. I'm crying right now because this is how I feel inside. And I'm not doing it to put negativity in the world. I'm doing it so that when you're going through this, when you have these thoughts, when you're telling your doctor your pain is a 4 or 5, when you know it's a 475, when you look at that cane or that walker or that wheelchair and you think it's one step more towards a life of pain, it's a hard thing to come to terms with. And it's okay if it takes a while. I just hope that we all together as a group, helping one another, can come to grips with these things, leaning on each other, helping each other get through. Maybe one person sees this, because if I had this 13 years ago, if I had somebody telling me 13 years ago, these are the demons swirling around in my head about this stuff, I feel like I would have been maybe one step further from that edge. Just one, but enough. Enough to give me that breathing room. That breathing room that sometimes we all need. So, I'm in it with you. And I really wanted to come in here raw nerve and film on this bad day and talk about some things that are really, really hard to get over. The pride, the hubris, the internal psych out that you get about what makes you disabled, what makes the pain forever, those aren't your own demons. So just know we're here. And pain recognizes pain. And I see your pain. I love you guys.